Good morning all. 142 days of going up Garth Hill. Who's that? Bob.
Hello, John.
Bubby, how are you, bud? How are you getting on, mate?
Good man, good man. I watched episode 6.
Episode 6 of Mr Trig, yeah?
Yes, really enjoyed it. And I got a bit more information about the old firing range up on Garth Hill.
And I know we've had some other chats before, but we want to have a chat with you about as well.
So if you don't mind, can I join you this morning?
Yeah, well, this is it then. This is episode 7. Bubby, join us later to see what we're talking about. Hello again. Yes, you met, as I was just out of my walk, I met Bubby in the street there. He's my neighbour. Well, near enough, Bubby. You're running around the corner from me.
You're not far off.
But before this, I will let you on. We had a little walk up here before, and me and Bubby had a big conversation about families, and basically, the conversation we went along with, Bob, wasn't it all about our military histories?
Yeah, yeah.
And as we were walking up here a couple of weeks ago, you were telling me about your grandparents.
Yep.
Do you want to?
Yeah. Well, my great-grandfather was a chap called Jacob Metcalf, and he went to France in 1915, and he won the Croix de Guerre with Palm over in a place called Guillemont, I think it's called.
That medal is equivalent to the VC, Bobby.
That's right,
yeah.
That's right. Then his brother Moses was out there as well at the same time. My grandfather, he enlisted early.
Yeah.
And his mum tried to get him back, but it was too late. He'd gone.
Yes.
And Moses, they never found him. He's on Thiepval, is it?
Yeah.
Memorial out in Belgium.
Okay.
He's on that because they couldn't find his body. As I say, my great-grandfather won the Croix de Guerre. My grandfather, this is in the Battle of the Somme, this is. He got wounded, shot through the arm.
Yes.
He went back to, he got shipped out and went back to Northampton, where he met my grandmother.
Yeah.
And within about 2-3 weeks, they were married, and the rest is history.
But you say about you met your grandfather. He used to show his injury.
Yes, yeah. I grew up with my grandfather.
He didn't say much.
No, just that one thing that he was shot through the arm by a German. That's all he said.
That's all he said. Too?
Yeah, that's all he said. But
this is why, come on, let's walk along here, Bob. This is why I love doing these vlogs, right?
Yeah.
To capture this history. Obviously, it's important to you, but because it's your family, right?
Yeah.
It's part of who you are.
I wish now, John, that I'd have asked him more.
Yeah.
Whether he'd have told me or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because when you were a child, you used to think what a grumpy old man he was.
Yes.
But what he went through at a young age was make anybody grumpy.
Yeah.
And you didn't realise that till you got older, and then it was too late.
Yes.
You know.
So that's the question.
Yeah.
And I often feel that with my family members, as I said to you before, that were served during the Second and the First World War. Wish you had time because we've only got bits of memories.
Yeah.
But as I said, this is why I'm doing this, talking to local people, capturing those memories.
Yeah.
So we've got them, you know.
Yeah.
And then, was it the other grandfather then? Did you say Second World War?
Oh, my dad.
What was his nickname?
Well,
people would know him
my
as...
grandfather was Di. And my dad was Young Di.
Was he Di Army?
And then there was Army, who was my grandfather's brother.
Right.
He was captured in Crete.
So everybody would remember Army, wouldn't they?
Yes,
His nickname
well, Army used to live on the Bank Square.
Right.
And he lived there for ages, for years. And then his son now, Stephen, lives in Hay-on-Wye.
Okay.
Down that way. And Stephen's got the medal, the actual Croix de Guerre medal, and my great-grandfather's medals, which is brilliant.
Yes. Well, I've seen your collection of medals and stuff.
Yeah.
It's quite impressive, you know.
Well, like you say, you got to look after them.
I've got to look after them.
I would never get rid of them.
No, it's
never,
just...
Yeah.
And I think it's so important, to, as I've said on other blogs, to encourage people to come forward and have a chat with me, you know.
Yeah.
Or just record it themselves with their relatives.
Yeah.
Because once those memories have gone,
and
I think it's so important that we keep them alive in our own community, you know. And that's why I particularly enjoyed that chat we had. We were moving a bit quicker then. We didn't have the old camera.
That's right. Because in the Second World War, my grandfather was a sergeant major in the Home Guard in Belf.
Okay.
So he might have used
the actual
range up here where we're going now.
Yes, which is the whole point of this journey. Is as you say, Bobby stopped me, but when he saw the episode, in fairness, he did say, look, I got some other information. Jungle, we've got to get up there and look. So we'll crack on now, because it's an early morning. We got you about 6 o'clock in the morning. Don't lie, Bob. We're going to crack on.
Yeah.
Because we're going digging.
We are. I got
Digging,
I got my trowel.
Digging and rooting,
Yeah,
Bobby.
I got my trowel.
Right, next time you see us, we'll be at the top. Ta-da, we'll near the top. We
top.
touched on the First World War with your family, Bob.
Yeah.
Bobby. But I remember when we were talking up before, we had a conversation about the Second World War in your family as well.
Yeah, yeah.
So, remind us all what we were chatting about then.
Well, my dad and my Uncle Frank got enlisted not far off the same time. My dad went to Towin, did his basic training up there.
Yeah.
He came back to Bilth, he had his 48 hours leave, and he went on a ship from Liverpool, and he went to, well, North Africa, where he stayed there for a while. He was in the Battle of El Alamein. He then, after that campaign had finished, he landed in Sicily, Italy, went up through Italy, and ended up at Monte Cassino.
Gosh.
And with Uncle Frank, his sort of job, my dad, sorry, was in the Royal Artillery.
Yeah.
And my Uncle Frank was in like recovery stuff, getting the tanks off the
Yeah.
battlefield. You know, when they were getting like a track off,
Well,
he'd go out with a lorry.
Would there be a target in
Yeah,
itself?
yeah, yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, they
everything
would, they would,
everything that
they
moves
would.
like.
Yeah, and I can remember Dad saying once that when they were travelling up through like the steep sort of roads and the windy roads in Italy,
Yeah.
if say 10 lorries went out, only 3 or 4 would come back. They'd be getting blown off the road, and this was going on day after day after day, like, you know. So
It
yeah,
was just not unlike as we heard about the Battle of Britain then.
No.
Those ace fighter
Yeah,
pilots,
yeah,
they
yeah,
were all
yeah,
going out.
yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
the moment they would be sat with
yeah,
him, and then
yeah. They'd be
the
gone.
real sadness of it is, which
Yeah.
is war, like.
Yeah, yeah.
They wouldn't be coming back, and
No.
that's
No, it's we owe them so much.
we do owe them so much, Bobby.
I like Remembrance Sunday is a big day in our family.
Yes.
And this is going down to my grandkids and everything.
Yeah, well, it's-
they absolutely, they love our sort of yearly pilgrimage. We go down to the churchyard and put the wooden crosses on all the graves, and it's just great. It's just great to, so that when I've gone, they will carry it on.
Your children carry it on,
Yeah.
and it's like we have to say with Bilth on that day.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with COVID, it did restrict what we could do, but we
Yeah.
still all remembered it.
Yeah, yeah,
But on normal occasion on that day, it's packed
Yeah.
down by the cenotaph, isn't it?
yeah,
And it's packed with people with memories that you've got of loved
yeah,
ones,
yeah, yeah.
Of uncles, fathers, aunties. That's all helped within that. And what's I think quite poignant sometimes is that there are families now with their children that are currently serving as well.
Yeah. Like I said before, John, you know, when I was a young kid, there was a place, used to be the British Legion place opposite Barclays
Yes, I
Bank,
remember that. Yeah.
was full of old First World War
Can you imagine the
veterans
conversation?
and Second World War veterans.
Yeah,
And they'd be playing cards and having a cup of tea and something.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to be sat in there
Oh yes,
listening to them stories?
yes.
If they told them, perhaps they
If
didn't.
they did,
Perhaps
if
they
they-
didn't. Yeah.
If they did,
Yeah.
or just to be a fly on the wall,
Yeah, no,
for that
it did.
occasion to
Yeah.
listen to
Yeah.
other stories. And
Yeah, no. It's,
well,
they must never be forgotten.
neither one, they never will be.
No, they
They
mustn't.
never will
They
be.
mustn't.
They never will be forgotten.
I know people go on about, you know, war is bad and whatever. They had no choice. They had to go.
Yes.
It's no different to the Germans and whatever. Like, you know, they were young lads. They had to go.
Yeah.
You know, you
Very, very
didn't have a
true.
choice. You didn't have a
No.
choice. You know, it wasn't them making the decisions.
No.
And
Our country called,
yeah, and they went.
and they went.
And they went.
Yeah,
All
were
right,
young men that
they
went
were young
over.
men, and they, all right, perhaps they didn't think it was going to be as bad as it was.
Yeah.
But, you know.
Yeah. And as we say, we'll never forget that sacrifice.
No.
Ever.
No.
You know, it's
No.
a part I've talked about with you myself, my own
Yeah,
family connections. We're talking now, and well, thank you, Bob, for sharing that.
Yeah, no problem, no problem.
It's, as I keep on saying,
Yeah.
it's such an important part of this little project I'm doing while I'm walking up Garth Hill.
But it's good now, John, to see Remembrance Sunday, the young ones down there.
Yes.
There's a lot of young, and there's a lot more people. As I keep saying, when I was a kid, there was hundreds marching,
Yes.
all with medals on and whatever. The church would be literally packed to the rafters.
Yeah, I remember that as
you
well.
know, and you think, and of course they're all dying off now, the older
Yes.
ones, like, you know, so we've got to keep their memory
We've
going.
got to keep the
We've got
memory. Obviously, but not everybody wants to talk about it, and that's fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well,
got, I respect
yeah,
that
yeah,
totally.
Yeah, yeah,
But whenever there's a memory that,
yeah, yeah.
I think we just keep, it's important. Like every community around Britain, every community up there in Wales comes to a halt at that moment to remember.
Well, when you look, John, every village, every town in the whole of Great Britain lost people.
Yes.
You know, and it's to try and get your head around that. You know, it's just amazing. You just can't.
You can't do it. You can't do it.
You know, wherever you go, there's a little cenotaph. You know, and there might be 5 or 6 blokes on it, but it's 5 or 6,
Five or
5 or
six.
6 women.
Yes.
You know, they're like, 'cause the women paid their part as well.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, you know, my auntie Jess, she was in the women's or whatever it was, Royal Army.
Yeah.
And when she passed away, they never got her medals. So I got the address and everything for Uncle Frank, and he sent for the medals, and he's got the medals now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It means a lot.
It means a lot.
Yeah.
And
I'm sure Norman's got them now, my cousin.
your cousin's got them.
Yeah, he's got them.
Well, it's the same with my family, you know, and it's the same with lots of families. They've got all these memories.
Yeah.
And that helps us remember the ultimate sacrifice, doesn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
And
You don't realise how young they were, John.
no.
You know.
Well, what did you know, we've talked about rugby and stuff, about how young they look and how.
Yeah, yeah.
I remember when I was started to play rugby, you were
An old bloke.
a wise old head.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I had a good team round me.
Yeah, but we talked about how young the first team look.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, in actual fact, at call up, they'd all gone
They'd all
now.
gone. Yeah,
Yes.
They'd have gone. They'd have gone.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, as me and Bubby take our stroll up to the Garth Hill, you will be seeing us in a minute at the halfway point, because he's got a little surprise for me. Talk soon. Hello again. Yes, back at the halfway point. Bob, where are we going now, bud?
Come on, John. I'm taking you down now to the firing range.
What, follow you? What?
You follow me, mate.
You sure about this, Bob?
It's a bit overgrown, but we'll get there.
Have you got these hacking tools or what?
Yeah, we got
What you got? Show me in your pocket what you got there.
Oh, I got a secateurs and a trowel.
Have you?
Yeah.
So you're sure about this now?
Yeah, no, we're down this way. Not a lot of people know where this is.
I hate to tell you, Bob. Bobby, people are going to know. All right. Okay. So as you can see, following the main man in the front here, I'm in his hands. So God knows where we're going to end up. Anyway.
Keep close to the fence.
Keep close to the fence. All right, Bob. I trust you. Right, anyway. Talk soon. Ta-da. Say ta-ra, Bob.
Ta-da, then.
So we're still going. I'm on Garth Hill, which would be Bob. This is the west face of Garth Hill. Am I right now, aren't I?
No, north.
Are you sure?
Landau's north, isn't it?
All right then. That's me completely lost.
Northwest.
Northwest, yeah. Bobby is still.
I'm still here.
Bobby, yeah.
Arcing my way.
Arcing his way out to find this firing range. Which, tell him, Bob, when you came out, you used to come out here as a kid, yeah?
Yeah, I must have been about 7, 8 when you'd come up here with your brothers and the boys, and we'd go to the top. We'd come down here. We'd make huts out of fern and that. We'd come here and dig a few bullets.
Did you?
And it was great. It was your childhood. Yeah. You know, it was good. Mum and Dad didn't have a clue where we were.
Well, that was the best thing about it, wasn't it?
As long as we were home at 5 o'clock for tea, that was it.
Yeah. Your stomach took you home, Bobby.
Yes, exactly. But we used to go by the blasting of the quarry.
Yeah.
Because you used to blast at 12 and 5 o'clock.
Oh, so you knew when you...
If you heard the siren going for the second one, the 5 o'clock one, you had to rush to get home,
yeah.
or there was no tea.
So tell me, I suppose I'm interested. How did you get to know about this place?
From my brothers. From I'm going to say, it's always been here. Well, I know it's always been here since I was born, but it was, you know, the older ones would say, look, we're going up the firing range, and you just tag along behind.
Well, if you said to the younger generation now, Bob, and you said we're going up the firing range,
they wouldn't know.
They'd be up in Epping.
Yeah, yeah. I think my son would, Joel would. He'd know because he's been up here. I don't think we brought the grandkids up yet, but we will one day.
Yeah, they see this now. They'll see Grampy. What they call it, Grampy or
Bampy?
Bampy. They'll see Bampy up here now.
No, we'll bring them up here. They'll love it.
There'll be a lot of other Bampies bringing their kids up here, probably.
Yes, hopefully.
Hopefully,
anyway.
yeah. Right, are you sure? Both of us. Are you sure now you know where you're going?
Well, I think so.
Come on in.
If we get to New Radnor, we've gone too far.
Right, Bob. This guy gets us on, mate. Bobby here's telling me we're pretty close now. So let's have a scan round here. Yeah, Oh, look at you. Right.
Just see it.
So have a look here now. Walk with Bobby now. I gotta be saying it, I've walked miles now. I've been in the jungle. Seen parts of Garth Hill, where I might remember, but... So what we got here is an old... What have we got here, Bill? An old, obviously a brick structure.
Well, I think that they used to lie up on top. There was like it looks like an office or a shed there.
Yeah.
The door's all missing now and the roof's gone. But I think they lay on there, and the firing range is this sort of indentation by there.
All right.
Yeah. Like these trees, none of these trees would have been here, it'd have been all clear. Because these trees have grown since I was a kid.
So if I'm thinking, you think they're up on the bank there?
Yes, either lying down or like machine gun, whatever, would be up on that bank, and the targets would be
up here.
Up here.
Yeah, I thought it was from a further away distance. For me, I'd misjudged it, but I can see now. People can see the structure. As you say, there's a little office there.
Yeah, or like a storeroom.
A store, it might have been stores.
They had the targets in there.
Yeah.
You don't know.
Piece of built history, yeah?
But could you imagine the Home Guard marching up across there?
Yes.
For firing practice? Because that's what would happen.
The development in the 89 would have been your relatives, maybe?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Private Metcalf.
But I've got the trowel ready.
Right.
For a dig, and we'll go and have a scratch to see what we can find.
Show us in your pocket first when you were a kid, Bob. So we look here. This is what Bobby found many years ago.
Do you want these in or out?
Let's have a look.
These are the musket balls.
Right. But what the ones you found?
These are the ones that have come from this site.
Many years ago now?
Many years ago. Many years ago. When I was a kid.
Yeah.
And you can see they're all different, all bent and... Imagine that hitting you.
No, I don't want to imagine that at all. So, with us up here now, we'll have a little... We're going to get to the top of Garth Hill eventually, which is up there somewhere, I think. We'll do that. But me and my old mate Bubby, yeah, we're going rooting.
Yep, we're going to have a dig.
We might be sometime.
Yeah.
Ta-da, right. Yeah, so I'm at the top of what probably we were the targets were. And down there somewhere, give us a shout, Bob. Bobby?
Hello.
You see him? He's down there. He's down by the range. So we're just having a little look to see if I can find some old bullets. Like.
Found one, John. There we go, my friend.
Look at that.
That's your first. Looks like a 303 or I don't know. Yeah, it looks like
What do you think it is? But 303, yeah?
Yeah, I would say so. It's Lee Enfield. It is definitely, I would have thought. Just think, the last person to touch this might not have come home. True.
True.
You know, and like we're touching it now over 100 years ago.
Yes.
That it was shot.
It just goes to show, Bob, what we got on our doorstep.
We don't
History,
realise
we are uncovering, it's literally uncovering a bit of history.
You literally wouldn't find this.
No.
If you weren't shown it, as I say, as a kid, you wouldn't...
You wouldn't know where it was or the history of it.
No.
Look
John's first bullet. Enjoyed it.
Enjoyed it. We are. I'm up, but well, both me and Bobby might be a storehouse, I think. What do you think, Bob?
I think so. I think it's either targets were left in here, maybe ammunition. Who knows? You don't know. You don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's as I've said, like it's just an important part of our rich history we have in Bilthwells. And as I've said many ways, Bob, you're gonna Bob. If anyone else has got any stories, come and have a chat, Bob, innit?
By all means. By all means.
Yes.
It'll be good.
So, they must. Did you say that they might be on the top there firing, Bob? Or?
I would have thought so. I would have thought so. If you come up proudly, you, John, perhaps we can see a bit better up here.
Yeah. If I walk up around here now. Where's he gone now? Yeah. Just keep it up with him, you see. He's like a young whippersnapper around you. Childhood memories flooding back here, Bobby, eh?
Yeah, I'm loving it.
You can't see him, I can see him. He is there. Let me just... How's this for filming? Yeah. Right. That's what you're saying, Bob.
I would say, looking like this, John, this is where they were lying.
Yeah.
I would say, and find up there. Because they wouldn't be down there because it's too steep.
Yeah.
I would have thought. And then the target's sort of up by there, like.
Yeah.
I would have thought. And the way this has been mounded up.
They were up on top there.
They
Either
were up on top, I would
kneeling or...
Yeah, kneeling or lying or, I don't know. Whether the machine gun's up here, who knows?
Yeah. Well, Bob, I think it's time to get up on top of the Garth, on top of the Trig now.
Yep.
Thank you very much, bud.
Pleasure.
Cheers, bud. I've lost Bobby somewhere. Bobby!
I'm here, John.
Oh,
In the first.
you said this would be a good idea, but we'll truck on in it.
Yeah, no, we will get there. Picking out a good route.
Indie Metcalf.
That's right. I wish I'd have bought that machete now.
You should have brought it. And the strimmer. Right, somewhere up the top there. I won't film again now. But somewhere up there, Bobby tells me, is the
Garth
trig
Hill.
point.
Yep.
Okay?
Yep, definitely.
Right. Let's truck on then, Bob. Let's keep on going. Stop filming. Because you are the guide.
Well, if they don't hear from us in 2 days, come and look for us.
Yeah,
We're lost.
We're lost somewhere. Right. Go on then, boy. Let's go.
Let's go.
After you. Somewhere in those bushes in front of me. You can see him. It's Bubby. Deep in the jungle, Bubby. Hey?
We are deep in the jungle.
See what you're looking at there now is
History.
history. That's Bobby's legs. We made it through the jungle. We came up from the historical site. We've had a bit of a chat about the family history with you, Bob.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. It was very
problem,
interesting.
no
Thank you very
problem.
much. I found my bullet. It'll be a necklace next time I see it. Thanks for that. But the last time we came up here, now I remember playing rugby with you
Yeah.
for the famous Bill Thirds team.
Right.
Yes, so when you were thinking, right, I'm happy to play a bit of social rugby now. That's
Yeah.
probably right, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
With some legends like Pip Morgan,
Yeah, he was.
Potter Pugh that were all coming
Yeah,
thinking
Potter. Yeah.
Nefertiti.
Yeah, poor old Neff. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, good as gold, Neff.
Yes.
Barry Bean.
Yes, all those
Gary
boys.
Gilpin.
Giles Marshall, all
Giles
those
Marshall,
boys were
Mike
good
Price.
for us.
Oh, they
Because
was-
that was our youth team then, Thirds.
Yes, yeah.
And you looked after us.
Well,
Because we were wild pups off it, but on it we were...
I needed some looking after sometimes.
Yeah. But what the interesting thing here with Bob, when we were, Bobby, sorry, walking up before, you talked about when you played your first team debut
Oh,
for
right.
football.
Yeah,
How old were you?
13. I was 13. Teddy Parkhouse was playing in goal at the time.
I remember the policeman,
And-
yes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. They had a game up in Raider, and it was a midweek game, and I was playing for the under-16s,
Yeah.
and Teddy couldn't play, so Bill Football Club then decided, look, we haven't got a youth team, what about Bub? So they had to go and ask my dad for permission.
Yes.
He said, yeah, no problem whatsoever, as long as he's big enough and ugly enough, he can play.
Which obviously you were.
Exactly. They had to ask the Welsh FA for permission.
It's good they asked, Bob.
Yes, that's right. And I went up there and we played the game, and I think we won 4-1. And my centre half at the time was a chap called Martin Davis.
Big Mart.
Big Mart.
Oh, okay,
He
yeah.
was my form teacher.
Yes.
Well, when the game was going on, you were shouting, "Sir, keeper's ball."
Yeah.
And he turned round, he said, "Look, my name is Martin, boy." Fine. So it was Martin, keeper's ball, all to the game. Went to school the following day, and I said, "Hello, Martin." Walked me on the back of the head and said, "My name's Mr Davis now." I thought, make your mind up. But it was an experience.
Yes.
And there was players like Jimmy Price,
Yes.
Alan Jones, and them sort of boys who
Oh,
looked
they-
after us.
yeah, I've got a picture of a very famous football team, and I think it was all those lads.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They didn't lose many games.
No.
Bobby.
And then what we did then, see, as the boys were getting older, a little bit older, and coming up to like 16, coming to leave the under 16s, the first lad out of us gang, as I call him, was a lad called Gavin Price.
Yeah.
He played for the first team, and he had a first team place, and he was a good winger. He was an amazing player. Gavin was Fidoos. Ray Davis, Neil Samuel.
Oh, yeah,
What
Samuel.
a class.
Yeah.
Neil Samuel, honestly, and I think Ray Davis, Dolmenin. they could have made pro football players. They were that good.
There was a lot of that generation.
They were lot. The Welsh FA have missed out on such talent around like mid Wales.
Because if they'd have picked up on that talent, then
exactly.
flow of talent,
It was always South Wales or North Wales.
Yes, it's a bit like that now, Bobby.
Yeah,
sometimes,
and you think, well, look at all the talent here, like. But yeah, and then we sort of came through. Then we had dribs and drabs of games, and then we sort of had a first team place.
Yeah.
And every Wednesday you get a postcard through the door.
Yeah.
I've got one at home. And it says, you have been selected to play for Bilfirst against so-and-so at
the
Thomas Land Field,
yes.
whatever the time. If you didn't get that by Wednesday, you would be panicking.
Yeah.
You would be thinking, you go to school, say, have you had yours? Yeah, I've had mine. Well, of course, it came, and you'd be in school the following day loving it.
Yeah, you went top form.
But we used to play rugby for the school in the morning on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Bilfirst in the afternoon.
Yeah.
We'd have a youth game Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And we might have an under-18s or whatever, or a second team game on a Sunday night.
That's living life.
Four games.
Loving sport.
I was in goal.
Yeah.
I wasn't too bad.
But tell me now, right? I remember you walking up before then, because I remember you playing for Bilfirst.
Yep.
I also remember playing rugby with you as well.
Yeah.
What switched you to rugby then? But what happened?
Well, because I used to do a lot of running years ago, I used to try and do 6 mile a day.
Yes.
Every day, if I could.
Yeah.
No more, 6 mile, it was about that, and I still love it. And I was so fit then that I had such a good side in front of me in the football, so all I was getting was back passes.
Yeah.
And the odd shot, well, I wasn't enjoying it. And we'd won all the cups, all the local cups, we'd won them, the Spa Cup, and when you win them once, John, you won it.
Yeah.
All right, it's nice to win it a couple of times, and then I sort of went to the dinner, and Steve Anderson, he was the manager at the time, Paul Otojo, and he would come to us and he'd say, sign on for next season. Yeah. Well, I said to him, look, I want to play out. And he said, you either play in goal or you don't play. So I said, right, and I didn't sign. And then Pip Morgan had a word to me, and I started training through the summer for rugby.
Well, the rest is...
And I had one game for the seconds, and I was pushed straight in the first to a place called Tadriga Ironsides. And I have never been so frightened in all my life. I thought, what have I let myself in for?
Yeah, but you played many games for the first.
Yes,
I remember watching you.
Yeah.
In the centenary year.
The centenary year, yeah.
Yes.
Played all them. And I tell you, another scrum half who I think was better than me was Paul Parry.
Oh, yes.
Paul Parry was a class centre half. Scrum half, not centre half.
He was a good
man. He was awesome.
He always comes up. But they're happy days, Bobby, aren't they?
Oh, they were. I was going to say, they became your family.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you spend more time training in a week with them, and then you
it's
sort
nothing
of...
like it, I think of the youth team I was involved with. We still... But that family extends then, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You have that close-knit of youth.
Yeah, I've got players all around Powys that I know. Good friends with, good mates with.
But
football, when you start getting these, what we used to call mercenaries in, these lads that get paid.
Yes.
Well, if the game got a bit tough and you had to roll your sleeves up and get stuck in, they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because they'd have a game on a Sunday for their local sides.
It wouldn't mean the same as it would for...
The teams I played in, we played for each other.
Yeah.
Win, lose or draw, we played for each other, and it was such a special time. It was awesome.
There's something very special about being a Bilf lad, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
After 5 years, I went back to football, and one of the biggest cups around here at the time, well, I think it still is the Emrys Morgan.
Yeah.
And you'd have 200 odd sides in that playing for it, and we were the first local side to win it. Mikey Bufton scored the winning goal on that night. I forget who we played. I can't remember who we played, but
Mikey Bufton, another fan.
Yeah.
Well, all right, Bob. But look, as we come up to and we have arrived, the longest route I've ever had in the time I've done it with you. I tell you something, mate.
Nice to be up here.
As I say to everybody, it's always good to meet folk on the hill.
Oh yeah.
It's good, and Bobby, as we're looking around here now, and a beautiful view up here again.
I love it.
There's our hometown. Many shots of this in this vlog. Take me on you, Bob. Thank you very much.
I enjoyed it, mate.
We'll do it again.
Yep, definitely.
Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
Cheers, mate.